Live from the Russian capital. Moscow has raised concern over France supplying weapons to Libyan rebels and over ambiguous interpretations of the UN Security Council resolution on Libya. Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has also once again said that the sides in the Syrian conflict should resolve their differences through dialogue only. Our correspondent Natalia Novikova is at the Foreign Ministry for us.
Libya was the key issue discussed during a meeting between two foreign ministers. That's following France's deployment of arms to Libya. France admitted it airdropped guns in order to help civilians protect themselves. And according to French foreign minister, when it comes to protection of civilians, all measures are justified. They claim that UN Security Council's resolution allows them to do so. Russia believes it is unacceptable that it violates arms embargo to Libya, and Russian foreign minister has said even though two countries have similar view on Libya's future, that it has to be a peaceful and democratic state, that UN Security Council's resolution can be easily misinterpreted.
Resolution 1973 contains Chapter 4, which allows anyone to do anything. This very chapter was the cause of our problems with the mandate. In all other aspects, we support it. And as we have warned, now we're facing rather unpleasant situations when it can be interpreted in most different ways. I think Moscow and Paris and other UN Security Council members are interested for the body to release concise documents. The international law does not need to put up with ambiguity.
Meanwhile, representatives of the African Union have already spoken out about this, saying that they are afraid of proliferation. They fear that those guns may end up in the hands of terrorists, and that's going to be a threat to the entire region. Russia's envoy to NATO had said at a press conference in Moscow that he fears that an on-ground operation is just around the corner, and that operation is only going to prolong this conflict and worsen the situation in the whole region in general. Meanwhile, when it comes to Syria, the two foreign ministers are not quite on the same page regarding that uprising. Moscow stands firm against a UN Security Council's resolution towards Syria, while France has been calling on for the Council to take action. Moscow believes that only a political solution of this crisis is possible, and as Foreign Minister Lavrov has said, that opposition in Syria has to sit down and talk with Assad's government instead of ignoring all the concessions and reforms that it's suggesting.
Duma Foreign Relations Committee head Konstantin Kosachev told RT that while the French may find a legal loophole on arming the rebels, the ICC is making a peaceful resolution to the conflict less likely.
Mr. Juppé, this morning when I talked to him, was absolutely confident that the deliveries of weapons to the rebels in Libya are in accordance with this resolution. I do not exclude any developments in the future for the simple reasons NATO has rather few chances to succeed in Libya in case the current operation is not developed into a ground-based operation, so I do not exclude anything, but for now there are no official confirmations for that. The regime of Mr. Gaddafi has lost its legacy, and it has to resign. I hope that the international community, and specifically the International Criminal Court, will stop creating additional obstacles for Mr. Gaddafi to resign. I hope that we will be able to coordinate our efforts and to try to convince Mr. Gaddafi to go, to leave his leadership in the country and probably stay somewhere within the country with special guarantees from the opposition that his security and his safety will be granted. Options, possibilities for that are still there, but for that we need to have more united international community, which is definitely not the case for now.
Investigative journalist Webster Tarpley, who's in the Libyan capital, says Russia needs to take countermeasures to outweigh illegal actions of coalition forces there.
The NATO operation is already flagrantly illegal because of the way they're violating. Let me put it this way: the resolution violates the charter, and NATO is violating the resolution. They've got a sea blockade going here. NATO air power is used to protect armed gangs packed full of Al-Qaeda and other terrorists, and it's used to attack civilians. I've seen homes here where 4 or 5 little children, essentially preschool kids, were killed in the middle of the night by bombs launched by aircraft from 40,000 feet. That is a very cowardly way to wage war. So we're in the midst now of international anarchy, and certainly countries like Russia would be very well advised to do something urgently to try to restore the rule of international law. And that would mean some more energetic measures against what the United States, Britain, and France are doing.